Woohoo.
My friend's got a girlfriend and he hates that bitch. He tells me
Unified theory, and this is.
I hold your hand in mine.
On the morning of June 14, 1968, a group of hippies fled into the mountains of Colorado to wait for doomsday.
Hey, Stand here. How's it going? That's funny, me too, huh? If you can't make this thing awesome today, it's in that sort of in-between phase. Have fun with your dog. We're in that in-between phase where it doesn't really look good yet. I just find this is, for me, the most challenging phase of any sculpt. Because I have to really imagine it's not going to look terrible in an hour when I start locking in some of the more specific details. Need something here that represents sort of a collar too, I think. Here will be fine. Pull this up and we'll make this also. And we'll take a gamble. It's on both shoulders for the general guess. But what we'll do is take the symmetry off, put this to where I can see it. And we'll just make it happen here. Alright, some of these details down. Keep it loose. More like this represents sort of an overlap. Maybe this is where that cyborg parrot thing goes to rest. Diminish that again. I think probably what I'm gonna do. Not too worried about the exact placement of this right now, but grab the snake hook and did this the other night too. If I change this to active curve, starts doing little stuff like that. That really just helps kind of get that sort of weird silhouette that we were looking for there. I'm not worried about it being super accurate. I'm probably not going to sculpt it to the same detail as the other one. The main thing is I'm looking to just kind of represent that shape. I'm probably going to do with fibers later on. Or maybe a mix, so maybe I'll create a custom brush for it. I haven't decided that yet. Which just helps me look at the form so I know where to focus the detail on. Right in the 3/4 there. I can see that this comes down a little bit more. On this jacket, I don't think I put double on the jacket, did I? Oh yeah, I guess I did do a secondary group there. Not very thick though. That's just fine. Hello, Bren. We'll scoop that out. That's good enough. Makes this concept pretty cool with all the little layers of detail. So I'm trying to represent that as much as possible with different elements before I start trying to sculpt into very specific details like the cybernetic parts and add more of the other stuff. But doing this now like this, it saves a lot of time in the long term. Duplicate that. And by duplicating the subtools off of what they're related to, I create automatically some project management, which is great. You can see we have some sort of a radio attached to this glove, but not the other side because that's where the word purchased on. So I don't need symmetry on this. Actually, if I just active off there, it's just gonna create very basic form I'm not worried about.
Now I'm not trying to be rude, but hey pretty girl, I'm feeling you. The way you do the things you do reminds me of my Lexus cool. That's why I'm all up in your grill, trying to get you to a hotel. You must be a football coach, the way you got me playing the field. So baby, give me that, and let me give you that. Running her hands through my fro, bouncing on 24s. Why they say I'm ready? It's the remix to ignition, hot and fresh out the kitchen. Mama rolling that body, got every man in here wishing. Sipping on coke and rum, I'm like, so what, I'm drunk. It's the freaking weekend, baby, I'm about to have me some fun. Bounce, 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 bounce.
Oh, this terrible old remix. But then again, a lot of my music dated. Alright.
restless eyes close, maybe it'll go
Maybe we'll make
away.
flatter.
Please
Drawing out
rest tomorrow.
this, it snaps on that.
Bring a satisfied
That way don't give me
day.
feeling bad. Alternatively, I could use this color brush to lower that. I'm not as worried about that. You can see the final pose on this kind of angle,
Surely it's that one comforting
a little bit like this or whatever.
to
Got her
give you
posed. I've got no such illusions yet anyway. Hello, Steve 3D. How you doing, Steve? Yeah, a little more accurate there. Sort of ambiguous because in the concept it looks like maybe it was originally part of the hard surface chest, and when the coloring happened rapidly, it was colored over to be more part of the cloth. I've decided to leave it as part of the hard surface chest. How we doing, Steve?
gossip dirt, whisper to the nodding head, thrill you fell
One other miscellaneous just drop in or restart. This leg is driving me crazy. Oh, I already did separate it, sort of. This upper part, but I'm gonna hide this jacket. Thanks, Steve. I'm working off of a concept created by a really awesome artist, Bree in the Sky, and hopefully I do it justice when I get it to the end of this. Definitely. Kind of look at how the leg works. So they've got that little overlap in the lower lip. I've got these things, and these are actually a little bit lower on the concept, I think. What I was looking at. I have to hide the pants here. Let's see, what do I end up with? Yeah, just start hiding stuff so I can isolate what I need to. Yeah, that's right on that side. Yeah. Tricky thing, I usually just concept all this 3D without worrying about concept, but if I have the mechanics worked out, I know where to go. But in this case, because I decided to take on somebody else's, I have to be a little more thoughtful in trying to place all this weird stuff. That's a little more. Now we've got this weird cutout here, which I guess I tried to do before. Didn't work out so well, so maybe what I'll do is I'll mask glass in. Lasso. We'll just pull that in just a little bit, just to delineate the form. And that's already looking a little better. Now I gotta figure out this upper leg form. Having this lip here seems to be kind of dumb. Seems like it more attaches more specifically. I would lead by symmetry. Oh, I can't do that at this page anymore. Oh well, I know I duplicated you, so you can go away. Lead by symmetry. Lead by symmetry. Lead by symmetry. for the representation. Allows me to get right in here. So take our trim adaptive brush. I'll start making this look like it's supposed to blend very lightly. Create that. Right, because cybernetics to get in the way of life, especially if you're a pirate, are not going to be too helpful. The problem is I'm taking it a little bit too high on the dynamish side. Generally, it's not that big of a deal because I'm going to redo all these parts as individual subtools, but we're sort of at that awkward phase where I haven't quite separated everything yet and created low-res subtools. But I'm looking at that internal form there. It seems like the front end of this comes up and the bottom end comes down. The fastest way we're going to get that shape is we're going to something like this. It seems like I may need to go further. That's probably okay because you can see on the concept it looks like it's pretty high up front. And then maybe we'll do get that down just a little bit. That's not much nice shape. That looks like an awesome one, I think. So what we'll do is delete hidden. Oh, I've got subdivisions on this. Oh, well, we'll see how this goes. Delete floor, delete hidden. I'm gonna dynamesh that. And that didn't destroy everything, although make me very happy either. That's okay. I can go in here and add that detail back in. It'll be okay. Because I really want this to delineate a separate form. We got a few tricks that'll get us. I'm a little more happy with that leg as it sits. And one of the other things I noticed in the concept is just as a representation of what a real leg is. They run the markers back here to represent the back of the ankle. They look a little less awkward, so we'll add that now. I'll do a copy to keep that. Turn that to a cube real quick. Bring that down. And we'll not make it soft. And I don't have symmetry on this item already, so that's helpful. Turn on polygroups. So, make that skinny. Whoops. Obviously, be this way. Just a little too well, that's all fixable. Fair bit of space between there. And then it looks like it comes down right like so. And on the concept, it looks like, in theory, there's like a little bar in between there. So we'll go ahead and try to model a representation of that, just give us something interesting to look at. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mesh off that pretty much flat down. It can be a little grumpy sometimes, so some of the trick is to do it one at a time. But still, that middle is not coming down. So the other thing I can do, transpose. And this will planar surfaces for you, so it's great for aligning things. And then if you really are having trouble with it beyond that, the other thing you can do, planar surface zbrush, you can use the clip brushes. So if I use clip curve, oops. I go back to see that bad things happening. So I'll isolate that again. Isolate that. Use clip curve and I use spacebar to move it. And because it's masked, it only affects the unmasked area. And now I've got an aligned edge, which is great because with no snapping and no measurement tools, some of those modeling operations like that can be a real challenge. And so it's good to know that you can align any surfaces like that. The other thing I can do, I can also turn on local symmetry if I X off and back on. It will, I didn't do it that time. Sometimes it will turn on symmetry for me. In this case, that's alright. Eyeballing it is fine. What I need to do is needs bevel and quick save. Now I'm going to smash that in. Now we'll quickly add a line proper. There, 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 there. Now we need supporting edges along here, along here. Couldn't hurt to have it here. And I say likely we're going to here and here. And because we're smart, we're going to do that there. We'll take care of extra weird edge. We'll get ourselves decent looking little hard edge thing on the back of the ankle.
Hello, Mother Leopard. I have your cub. You must protect her. But that will be expensive.
I want to
10,000
bring
walnuts wrapped in
this
brown
in.
paper. Midnight behind the box. I'll be the hyena. You'll see.
Put that in. I'll add those parts back in. And even though I don't have symmetry on it, if I want this aligned down the center here, I can always go to multiple edge loops. And it always does it right in the center halfway, and if I've got it set to 1 or whatever, the fast way of getting that. Oh, right, pop that in. I'm putting it there. Oh, you got use that there. Alright, just something to represent that back here, right there. That's probably not going to be the final item because I think that circular at the other end there, but gives you something to look at from a distance. Any other weird details look like on there? I know I've got like a tube running around along there, but I'm not going to do that yet at this stage. That's the later stuff. I think that kind of gets me there for the leg. So I'm going to do a quick save, and I'm going to start separating out all of the pieces. to create separate little groups for all of this, and I discovered the other day that I can just mask it and separate it, and I was blown away. I didn't know that I could do that. Thought I had to create a group and separate it like that. I actually need to adjust my my interface to add this on there. Have it on, oh yeah, split. Yeah, split mask points. And just like that, new subtool. Freaking awesome. That's under there, but I still want to smooth it out. I'm gonna use ZBrush to Z-remesh these, and then I'll use zmodeler to wrap it. And the simpler I make it, the less time I have to spend doing it. Hello, Frey. That's under there like that. I am going to hide that, mask it, unhide it, and split it. Great thing about that. Ridiculous thing about that. Split mask points on ZBrush on the current version point, or sorry, split groups as a crash bug. Every single time I do it, there is a crash that occurs. As long as I close it after I do all my splits and save it, the crash doesn't happen. So far with this, I have not experienced that, so it's kind of an awesome thing. It also takes half the freaking time. But hey Big O, how's it going, eh? You finally woke up from your nap? Ooh, that was lovely. Look at that, we got that all split up. Awesome. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna elevate that. Oh, I gotta switch my delete hidden on that. Group that. Yeah, well, rather than trying to figure out for sure where my little tiny mask pieces are when I'm trying to do these group splits, I discovered when I was working on some interface last week that a couple of weeks ago now, that you can adjust the level your mask color is by default, all the way from completely black to super light, depending on what your needs are. So I set it really dark, that way I always know for sure if it's masked or not, and I don't have to sit there and like chase groups around when I'm trying to split stuff off like this. No matter, that's separate. Do a quick save again. And we will Z-remesh this and start the magic. Groups. And even if I only have one group, I put keep groups on because it changes the algorithm and it seems to get me a better result no matter what I do.
Why don't we get this poppin'? Top floor with no disturbing. Room service in the morning. This will be the night that we are. Elevators waiting open. Don't you
That'd be a kind of a bad result actually. I'm going to try add a little bit of volume there. Is it because English or is it because my mic is terrible? Group, polyloop. Let's do the color that really stands out. Like a pink, there we go.
When I drop it like it's hot, take it like a man, now you hit that right spot. Naughty or you not, you and me, we all cuddling up in the club, rubber dubbing them, we straight bubbling. And you loving how we get all bites, no licks, these waves here got you seasick. Won't you bubble with your chick? Pretty and I'm thick, ain't no other duplicated, I'm the one to get with. Come and bubble, baby.
Oh, my mic does sound good. Okay. Well, we'll make this ZBrush and English 101 or something. I don't know. I can't understand half of what you say when you're on mic either, so I think it's a win. I kind of like where I am here. I think I'm just going to try and fix this mesh. That.
It's equally
Just in those triangles. ZBrush makes it so easy to do it. The main thing is they're looking for places where you get weird overlap and stuff like this. We start deleting weird stuff. It makes it way easier just to fix it afterwards. Right? So we got this one line that goes all the way over here and stops to create bad stuff. As a result of this, kind of creating this corner here. So I stitch these, stitch that. That corner is kind of gone. We'll see how that evolves. Because this is a great little loop all the way around here. And really I want this to continue all the way down here to this. A little bit better. Got the same thing going on. So I'm going to bridge it. Create that there. I can stitch those two. Now before I make this any more complicated, anything that I can make less complicated like this here, I'm going to do that. This makes sense there. And now I know that I've got to deal with this. I'll delete that. That. Figure out where I want this to fall around. So, because that's low, I really don't. I'm gonna have to split this from here. Now I've created a bad thing. Sort of. Bottom part good, part bad. What if I do that? Like that. Tricky thing when you're trying to do subtractive work like this. But that's the bad guy right there. That one that I added in, right? I go back onto that now. That's below, that's above. Oops. And that's one loop all the way around. That's okay. All those areas there are okay. So I'm gonna add a little back in there. If I bridge this is okay. Right? Loop goes through, that's okay. So if I stitch this, that's okay. Exact same thing, both sides. So I'm going to bridge that. See you later, Biggo. Fix my polygroups now. Single poly. These groups right here. Mirror. Actually, I just want to do the back end of this. Poly loop. Poly. And there's a method to the madness, you know, like creating these groups doesn't just like look nice. It allows me to use more complex operations like smooth poly groups, yet this looking exactly the way I want it to all the way around. Right? It's a nice, this smooths in a certain way so it's round on the bottom. I'm getting a point there. This is nice in the back. Now, I'm looking at it though overall and I realize that I don't want this separate from this. So what I'm going to do, oh, I don't want to just do that. I'm going to group this together and it'll change the smoothing operation. Get exactly what I want. Now, you see that line went together. And without doing any additional work, I get a nice looking piece like that. And that is the magic right there. It takes literally a few steps from here to go from a finished piece. The thing that I like about doing this in ZBrush, interactively doing it with all my tools, while I'm working out the problems in real time, and I'm fixing it all in just a couple of steps. Like for example, looking at this now, I probably want these lines here to be sharp, right? Makes sense. Go back to zmodeler here. Create a whole other group. And now that smooths into those sharp corners that I want right there. Not too much more smoothing operations. This does wreck the moving around. What I'm doing but still saves me a lot of trouble compared to other things. So to save myself more time, that's my little wheel up there. That for that section. I do that smooth operation. That ends up kind of nice.
Sunrise, sunrise, looks like morning in your eyes, but the clock's held 9:15 full hours. Sunrise, sunrise, couldn't tempt us if it tried, 'cause the afternoon's already come and gone. And I said, ooh,
there we go. And later I will add thickness onto this, but right now I'm just going to add a couple of lines just to make this a fully realized fake of a hard surface. So already that adds to it. We just want to delineate these forms so that we're looking at something that looks kind of cool. We'll move that out. And you know, there'll be a point where I start adjusting these things in a little bit more. But I don't want to spend 2 hours on this single piece right now. And if I did, it would be a waste, because a lot of times once you create all of these, the hard pieces, you're going to have to go through and adjust them in some way, and you don't want it to be a final piece and adjusting it, and then you're kind of hooped. Then you're like, oh crap, I gotta undo or redo or whatever it is. We'll do a quick save here. Start working on the next one, I suppose. Hello, Ropes over on Twitch. Seems we picked up a second piece here. Oh, well, I don't need that bottom piece there at all, so gone with ya, haha. Make that one group, and we're gonna smooth this out. Just makes ZBrush work better when it's smoother. It doesn't try to like work off of the edges that way. We're gonna smooth it again. Kind of ZBrush raindrop, but that's actually quite beautiful. Let's see if that wrecks it if I do it again. Oh, yeah, that's better, I think. Rather just adjust that in shape and form. So this piece is under this, so it's a little more forgiving on how it adjusts. It's going to be under this piece here. Just for function, this piece allows this knee piece to move up and over as required, and this allows this part of the knee piece to move under to create that motion and allow that armor to flex as required. At least that's what I've surmised so far from the concept and I'm working from. It's kind of fun when you work from other people's concepts like that. You have to kind of make those decisions when you don't know the person and just borrowing art. I did get permission to sculpt this though, just in case anybody's wondering. I have a disturbing piece from it's a soundbite from
we've got here
Cowboy
is
Bebop movie.
failure to communicate. Some men you just can't reach.
Yeah, it makes sense in context, but the context is a little weird.
The way he wants it. Well,
I have a ton of little sound bites from Cowboy Bebop that made its way into my music collection, and never really taken them out. It's just sort of funny to randomly get dialogue or things like that. I'm not gonna spend any real time on this. It's kind of smooth. I'll put it to 3 just to make it smoother. Later, I may try to add. This looks like there's a secondary form in there. I don't know how doable that is with the topology on this. If I were to do that just as a temporary thing, more towards the bottom side, so it'll be like right here. I need to extrude that through the group. And something zmodeler likes to do this. It's not supposed to, so actually pull this down, but it doesn't really like single-sided geometry. So you have to go in here with delete my polygroup, and that clears most of the problem, but then you get these little ends which will not smooth correctly. So you just gotta delete them. I'm sure when they release the next version of ZBrush, they'll have that a little more worked out. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. It goes up on this end and down on that end. I'm gonna have to. I'll redo the geometry on there to get the line where I need it. But that's ZRemesher modeling there. I'll leave that as a sub. Gotta make choices. Hello, Karens. Gotta make choices. On to the next piece. Quick save. Last thing I want is crash to happen, but if it does, now I pulled this off, and you can see I've dynameshed it a little bit. I'm gonna make it one group, and I'm gonna try, before I do anything too weird on here, figure out exactly where I need to get rid of some things like that. That seems like it's a good place to do it. I'm gonna control group that, and we really like groups. Get rid of that. Alright. Delete hidden. And I think I can get rid of that. And so what I'll do is I'll just nip the tip on the other side there as well. That's okay. Delete hidden. And probably what I'm going to do, well, let's see if I can do this a way that would be ideal. What I would like, probably I'm going to end up, so I'm trimming this more because I'm going to add the thickness back in. Yeah, it's a masking trick in ZBrush. You can, a lot of people probably don't realize in your preference, I think it's under preferences here, you can adjust how things look. See if I can remember where I found this under here. Oh, forgotten where it is now. Well, you can adjust the masking level. Pretty sure it's not under the normal masking palette, but I could be wrong. No, you can adjust it. Yeah, it's a preference, because a lot of times when I'm doing work like this, as an example, right, under the default mask, if I were to mask this and I've got polygrouping on, I can't see the mask. It's so light, right? You have the option of changing the color of the mask all the way to like black, which is great, because that means I know, right? I know whether the polygroup is on or not. I know that that's masked. I know where the mask edge is. I can see it very clearly. I don't have to squint A lot of times when you're masking stuff with the lasso, you get like a little spot like that, and you do this, you're like, okay, I think I've cleared that other bit of the mask, but you know, you still got like a little piece like that. And then if I press Control W to group it, oh fuck, now I've got to like chase that mask around and hope that I get rid of it. So this way I don't have to do that. I'm going to hit delete hidden there. I'm going to polish this up, and what I'm going to do, I'll show you. I'm going to create this as a single piece of geometry, and there's a couple ways I could do this. I could probably draw with the topology brush over top of this and create a single piece, and that's might be where I go, but I'm going to see how zmesher does here, because that's not too bad actually. All I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go delete polygroup or polyloop, and I'm going to get rid of stuff so I get like this, right? It's like it's a pretty straightforward piece. Except where it's got some weirdness over here. Single poly. Let's see how that goes. Delete stuff as much as possible. I'll leave this because I'm going to just bridge this back in. Keep that, keep that.
What's so civil about war anyway?
Now we'll just use our move here. And we'll insert one back in here. And just to make this smooth out the way I want, use polyloop. And we'll use another polyloop. And because I added those two, loop type, if I hit smooth, I end up with a smooth piece like this, right? And that's great. Except it's not quite long enough on the one side. Blue brush to fix that. I'll smooth it out again. Now, if I want to get that thickness, because I've made it really simple, I just go in here and I go extrude all polygons. And I can do that. And I can smooth the group out still to a certain extent. Although, I guess what I would do is I would, poly group, single poly, just so that's a separate group. And then when I smooth it, you can see it stays nice on the end there. And actually, I'll get rid of those extra groups that ended up there. And just by keeping these poly groups like this is a smoothing group, this is a smoothing group, this is a separate smoothing group, this is a separate smoothing group, and this is a separate smoothing group. And with smooth by poly groups, that means I end up with a nice solid piece, and then I can bevel this as required, right? It also means that if I need to make adjustments, let's say I decided I wanted that higher, I can smooth it, right? I can smooth it into shape. I don't have to worry about moving it as much, and I can still get those really clean pieces that, you know, everybody likes to see when you do hard surface, right? You want really awesome, clean looking stuff, but you are going to have to inevitably adjust it, so that allows you to do those adjustments. And anytime you want to create like a point, like another good example here, on the sides here, okay, we're getting to the sides, and I kind of want this to be sharper. I'm going to go back to my zmodeler. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. 5. Doesn't look like much happened. Look, now we got points on either side. just from doing that. I don't particularly want that for this piece yet, but I might try to delineate that form a little bit more later when I try to figure out more specifically how this attaches to this. Right now we're just trying to create more specific pieces to work with. Well, we'll do a quick save before we lose all of that. Definitely don't need to lose that, that's for sure. Alright, polish by groups. Get rid of all those jaggies. Gives us something to work with. Some of it will. Zmodeler is new as of version R4R7, so it's the only version that modeler brush is in there. However, if you're using an older version, you can still manually create groups, right, with your masking. And polish by groups is something they added a lot of versions ago. So, like, you know, what just popped up on the screen there, I grouped this front section, and then I smoothed it. And then you could remesh it by groups, which is still in there, I believe, in R6, and get some of that. But you're not going to be able to do that fine detail editing that I'm doing with zmodeler brush. You're going to have to do a little more manually. You're going to have to select a piece, like, as an example, okay, let's say that I need to do, I'll do one like this. Okay, let's say I create this and I group it, okay? And then I create, I don't know, group like that. And then I create, okay, I want to group that. And I smooth it. But then maybe I decide I want to make, like, this couple of faces a group. I'm going to have to go in with the lasso, right, and select those. And then Control W and mask it. And then polish it or something. Right, it's all going to be manual. And then let's say I need actually more than that. I can press Control Shift X to grow, or I can press Control Shift S to shrink, and that allows me to select pieces more specifically. And so you can get there, but it's just going to be a lot more challenging to do that in the older version. Alright, so we're going to start this off by z-remeshing again. I always put the keep groups on again because it's a slightly different algorithm. Sure, and you know, there's also a replay of this afterwards. It's available both here on Picardo TV and Twitch, so you can grab that. It's free to download, and then you're able to review the details and knowledge that's being dropped. Since I'm doing a lot of that on this, I may upload it to YouTube afterwards. Hello, Moonshine. Okay, let's see. So this one, right, we got it on the leg here, and there's a couple areas that I want ultimately to end up looking more hard surface, more specifically hard surface. So I'm going to start by just laying out some general groups, and we'll make it more specific as we go. Right? I want these borders protected to a certain extent. And I definitely want this edge here protected. Like, I want to create this form, and I may have to adjust the geometry. So if I want that to be my lip, I'm going to take stuff that's above it off of me. That gives me a little bit more of the edge automatically. And I press Alt and I drag along here like this. And it's Alt every time I click. I'm defining a new group. On the last one, I'm going to release Alt, and I'm just going to tap Alt over and over again to toggle through these groups. And that gets me the group on that line. If I polish this, keeps that nice and sharp, which I want. And I'm going to do the same thing along here. And actually, I'm going to use it as a separate group. Oops. See, we get a nice edge there. And we also get a nice edge below it, which is definitely what I want. So we're going to end up actually remeshing this again. So I can't go too crazy this time around. But these groups, when you have preserved polygroups on ZRemesher, it also takes into account the groups and it uses that for where to put your loops and things. And that's awesome because it's going to do a better job for you. Well, in theory. Move that out. Yeah, that worked better that time. I don't know what happened last time. And I'm still going to have to clean this up. But way less cleanup to do now, right? Like, what I'll do is I delete this. I see why I did that. It's not bad actually, but weird. I'll try it again. What I'm going to use is use the same for the half. That just did nothing but good for me, or bad, I should say. Yeah, ZBrush's UI is sort of one of those crazy things, and what you're seeing online is this is a custom setup. I created this particular one because I use this workflow a lot. I wanted to be able to really rapidly access things that I access very frequently. Now, what awful thing did that do there? I don't even know, because it went away really easily. Kind of scary sometimes. Oh, I got a triangle there. I don't like that. That maybe explains why that's like that. I'm happy with that. Not happy with that. That's okay. I'd rather keep that polygon. I don't like this at all though. That's okay though. I still get that loop and I still get that loop. This is what I call good enough. But actually pretty good. I only have to do some really minor adjustments, but I don't like this. I may figure out a better solution there, but I mean overall that's as pretty much as good as you're gonna get in like 3 clicks. Like I set up the groups, I ZRemeshed it, and I had to do 2 tweaks. You know, I can't do much better than that. And so now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add in hard surface guides, right? Which is just more resolution. Happiness. Happiness. And maybe we'll add an extra guide along there. Razor sharp. Uh-oh, why is my Shift F not working? Oh, I know why. There we go. I'm just gonna pump that in. Ideal world. I should be able to do from there to there and there to there without any weirdness. You can see what I end up with on the other side there. Not happy that. What bridge is that? Well, I guess that would work, eh? And you just need to change the puzzle or solve the puzzle. That works, right? So I get that. Now I get that. You get all those lines where I need them. See, that works out really well. Like that is nearly feature complete piece. You'll have to do a little bit of tweaking to it. I want this to go up more here, and actually I can get rid of a piece right now on a clay brick. That's what I thought. I can delete that. Back on here, and there's a bug in the UI interface right now when you delete a piece and then switch to another piece. If you're using custom UI, at least my custom UI, I don't know. It deletes the bunch of the UI, so I added up a button on here to restore my custom UI. Oddly enough, well, I think I got a friend bumming a ride for 3 p.m. Joke's on him, I don't have the car. Oh, people and they're needing rides. Now I completely lost my train of thought. Oh yes. Nope, it's gone. Train derailed. But I am looking at this. I don't actually need that second delineation of that form. That looks nicer, eh? Now the one thing with this is nice and round, nice and hard here. I have to make a decision when I'm doing this. Do I want this to meet up and butt this like this? Right? And I can create some groups around that so when I smooth it back it makes sense. Does it look good on the leg? You know, things like that, right? Does seem to make a little more sense in my design, so I think we're going to do that. But it means that I need to create a group line there. That's what we're going to start with. Polygroup, polyloop, and a similar one there. And likely if I smooth this now, it's going to wreck all my little tight lines, so I won't do it. But I'll think about it for later. That way I'm not spending 2 or 3 hours on here. So what I will do is I'll go back to this one here. Now that I've created a little bit more of a solid piece underneath, I know that I need more depth on this automatically. So I adjust that. And I realized I forgot to make this a dynamic piece. So we'll just do that. We'll, I'm not too worried about adding the bevels on it, but I just want to make that thickness stick just a little bit. So we'll just add some lines into there. Give this a smoother, more solid mechanical look. Onward to the next thing. Really do this big thing in the back. This is probably going to be a little more challenging of a piece. Hard to tell, but on the original one, it almost looks like this front piece is on top here on the concept, and then this is a separate piece here, but yeah, we'll just do it this way. I think maybe I'm looking at this piece here is the separate delineation piece, and it joins in with this. Oh well. We'll just go with it. We're here now. Usually I duplicate things before I go to the point of no return, so I can just go back easier, but I didn't. I could always copy and paste it from an earlier project though. Lots of iterative saves. Alright, smoothing. Oh, this is gonna be I can tell. Gonna be Alright, first step. Move that out. This is going to require a little bit of work because the shape is really unusual and the algorithm probably doesn't quite know what I want, so it's trying to interpret that. And it's creating some spirals as a result. So I have to create some guide groups instead. But I need like a proper group color. Right, so I want that. We want oh man, this is... Alright, let's see what happens. Bad things. I want smooth groups off. Oh my god. Complete hidden. Fix mesh. Cross my fingers. Alright. Increase our adaptive size. Let's see if we can troubleshoot this. Alright. You know what? Stepping back. Move that out. That's already a little better. because I don't need, looks like I don't need this part. I'll delete hidden.
ดวงอะไรที่ดีไม่เห็นมีตัวตนเลยนั่นที่เขาเรียกว่าดวงนะดวงอะไรกันถ้ายิ่งเก่าก็ยิ่งมันเขาเรียกขี้กลางพุ่งเดือนมีดวงใครว่าของดีดวงพี่ทำไมมันคันคันคันคันคันคันคันคันคันคันคันดวงอะไรที่ดังที่คนหวังว่าใส่ดวงดวงนี้จะเด่นเห็นคุณกันกลายเกลื่อนที่เห็นมานะพื้นที่ดวง
Fix that afterwards.
ใครว่าของดีดวงที่ทำไมมันคันคันคันคันคันคันคันคันคัน
Let's smooth that out now. I sort of get what I want. No absolutes.
คนจะบ่นถึงดวงหมายเอาดวงนั้นมาเป็นที่ตั้งก็ดวงมีจริงๆแล้ววิ่งแง่หน้าแง่หลัง
So I'm trying to create a scenario where zbrush figures out, okay, these are the shapes that we're going with in the final piece. So that I can further edit it. We're already doing pretty good. It's running ZBrush Z-remesher a second time was very good for cleaning up some of the mesh it originally did, and that's one of the nice things about Z-remesher is it is a learning algorithm. Unlike me. So if you run things a second time, it goes, okay, I see what I did there, and I'm going to try to improve on that process. Hello, Bedic Castle over on Twitch. We're doing good today. How are you doing? Okay, that's better. Alright, let's see what kind of chaos we're going to get now. Let's run a smooth first. Try that. Oh, that was a bad thing. Alright, clearly I just gotta go on this. This is the best case scenario, and I gotta. We can do that. We have the power. Eating. When you have to get creative with your hardware or your software. There's a billion scenarios where you can do things, and at least with zmodeler, I can go through and manually try to create a scenario that I like. and then I can try and clean it up afterward. It's absolutely dope. Position I'm in now. Stitch these together. I'm gonna have to chase a couple triangles. Not gonna be the end of the world. But because we got this sort of weird thing going on in the middle, it's a little challenging. Make that flat, I guess. That kind of works because what I'll do is I'll take ear measure and I'll just extrude that, and that solves the geometry weirdness and the angle. Another reason why I absolutely adore zmodeler. So on this side here, things are working out a little better than on this side here, but we'll figure it out. We'll get there. I need this piece to be a little more challenging than some of the more simple shape ones. I've been doing this for a while now, so I thought I'd probably solve it sooner or later. The main thing here is because we've created some inverted shapes, and the zmodeler brush really doesn't like it when you got overlapping shit like that. So we're gonna get rid of that for now, and that's fine. Where it brings us to an interesting thing, because this was round before, and I kind of made a square, and this is definitely square. Although I'm going to be rounding it off in an interesting way. It'll be really interesting to see how these fit together. Hello back on Twitch there. Alright. By delineating these groups again, we're at a much cleaner geometry state. I'm going to insert stuff there. I'm going to insert one down the middle. Oh, nice and smooth. I'll just take another brush here. That not the end of the world. Alright, this is our labor, we are focused. Alright, now it's time to adjust this form. See how these fit together. Now that's some sort of a weird ankle thigh structure support, eh? But the great thing about this is by creating those points on this other piece, it tells us exactly where to pull out this piece. All of a sudden, we look like we're in the manufacturing business because we are manufacturing. Company, that. And again, we'll clean that up as we go. How do I change my group color so fast? When I'm selecting a face, so you have a couple different ways with zmodeler to select a face. Go back onto this one here. Take dynamic off. When you hold spacebar, right, you got your operations. There's a couple different things that you can do when you're using zmodeler. So normal operation, you click and do whatever that's set up. If you want to change that operation, you can press Shift. So let's say I'll use extrude as an example. If I just click extrude, and I'll put on single face, I can extrude it in or out. If I start extruding and I want to change that, I can either hold Shift, and now it moves the face instead of extrudes the face. If I hold Control, it separates the face, separate operation there. And if I press Alt while I'm doing any kind of operation in zmodeler brush, it changes the group as long as I'm in the operation. Additionally, if I press and hold Alt before I select the face, it's going to get what's called a temporary polygroup. That temporary polygroup I can paint, so I can click on other faces and paint that in. And this is a selection. It's just like in any other 3D package, that's a selection. But because of how ZBrush works, it's a selection and a polygroup. And so if I want to make all of these one group, and I've started by pressing Alt and holding down and selecting the face, right? And I got my temporary selection group. All I have to do is release Alt or tap Alt, and it'll cycle through polygroups as many as I want until I get a group color that I like, and then I'm set. And then that allows me to do fast operations, like modeling operations that I want. I can select that, and very quickly I can get a group master, whatever it is I'm after, so that I can rapidly create these operations. And again, I don't want to be too committed to these shapes. You see how easily things change as we work our way down the scenarios here. Just getting sort of quite the hyperextended leg. Probably what I'll do, bring these forms back under control, is, well, I could also make this softer here, I guess. Maybe I'll do that first, but usually later in the process I'll take transpose master And I'll go ahead and I'll adjust all the forms down a little bit. In this case, what I'm going to do to soften that, and it just needs you. And get rid of that. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to soften that mask. Right here. Bring that form back in line a little bit.
Never feeling like you haven't got a clue and your frown is turned upside down. Just remember one little poem and everything will come easy for you.
A little less crazy. That's a little more back in line with the form. Maybe we'll double that. I think doubling is a smart choice for how interesting this form is. Yeah, I like that. It gives me the opportunity to add that into that other softer form that we're going into. Although I'll probably have to go and tweak all the lines to make that a little nicer. All right, on to the next thing. Well, quick save here. And going pretty quick, actually. Hello, awful falafels over on Twitch. All right, polishing. As you know, that makes everything magically better. And I do just a little tweak on the shape. Just make a difference on zmodelers. I'll have to keep groups on. Oh, let's drop the resolution down. That turned out pretty alright. Pieces like this that are going to ultimately be a little simpler. This one's actually going to be indented, so what I'll do is I'm going to get something to drink before my voice goes dry. Hello, Nestox on Picardo. I'm going to pull this shape under here. I'll use a little trick here to make this a little more interesting. So first we're gonna add our groups in like we have been doing. And I'll smooth that out. I want to make things look as nice as possible. I'll still probably have to adjust the forms a little bit. And we're going to extrude this polygon. And we're going to smooth that out.
Smile is like a wedge that takes me from the edge of feeling sad or blue. A smile is like a wedge that takes me from the edge. I love a smile.
Don't know if that shape is quite as successful as I want. Probably gonna have to spend a little more time. For a form where I might have to insert a hard shape into that pocket. I'm gonna do the undo. And I'm gonna subtract some of the useless extra geometry on there. So I have a little more control over the form. It'll make that a little more flat. Take off every other loop first. I'll try a trick here. Don't do what I want. All right. Clearly this is going to require a little bit of tweaking. That's okay. We're going to get the end result that we want. That's the important thing. Now, poly loop right down the middle of this. I could flatten this out completely, but I don't really want it to be completely flat in terms of the pocket itself. Something like that, sort of.
Tuesday, my heart is brimming. I'm a child in the wild wind.
Poly.
Dead leaves and daylight dimming. No beginning and no end.
Alright, so I need line in the middle. And actually, let's make that right in the middle. Oh, I don't want to. Same polygon. I'm just going to do that for now.
You say it can't be done, you'd rather die of fun. Get out of the way. From it all, it's tearing us apart. You don't know your good from your bad, from your black, from your blood, from your wrong, from your right. So you camouflage your heart.
Pull that out again. That's what I thought. Pull out my pocket.
I don't want no other distraction. It's too much hate.
I'm gonna insert this now.
Faint hearts, a jaded reaction, contraptions out of history. You say it can't be done, you'd rather die of fun. Get out of the way. For me, for you, for everyone. Whatever is tomorrow is today. Shut all the windows and lock all the doors. Keeping it all out of sight. I'm keeping it all. It's mine and mine alone. Corrosion, collision.
Oh,
I need a
still gonna work the way I wanted it
tear
to.
out the cloak of the night. Shatter eyes of stone.
Alright, back to the beginning. Sometimes great ideas just don't take. Well,
You say it can't be done, you'd rather die of fun.
oh, apparently this wasn't the beginning one.
Get out of the way.
Haha. Oh, that's funny.
For me, for you, for everyone.
Split that sucker back off again.
Forever is tomorrow is. For me, for you, for everyone. Forever is tomorrow is. For me, for you, for everyone. Forever is tomorrow is today.
Didn't.
You say it can't be done, you'd rather die of fun. Get out of the way.
Oi, 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 Lee Satchel, you bastard. Stop trying to shag the birds and fight the geezers. Mine's a Cronenberg, mate. The streets.
Great.
Who guts the funk? Geezers, geezers, geezers. Who guts the funk? Original pirate material. Day in the life of a geezer. Crispy. Roscoe. England's glory. Unique. Lyrics. Locked on. Andy Lewis.
Alright, what the heck was I doing? Oh, yes.
All Birmingham geezers.
Ailing.
All
Or
London heads. Barnet. Brixton. Beckenham.
alright, maybe we'll leave this as a simple plate and we'll work on
You're
it
listening to
there.
the streets. Original pirate material. Day in the life of a geezer. Day in the life of a geezer. It's just a groove. Just a groove.
Alright, good enough for now. Non-moving part. Almost think though, looking at it. Create that same edge delineate. I'll leave it. They're going to take a note of that on here. How this one ends up. It'll be another one of those a little bit more complex shapes that might be challenged. Not bad. Not bad at all, zbrush. I knew this was going to be a tricky one. Try to simplify this as much as possible. Then fix. Well, that side was relative. love it when a plan comes together. I think I've been doing this too much. It's starting to look really easy. Oh, that's alright. We'll round that out. I'll do a little bit of I really want that to connect in there a certain way. So I want this to go under and not to be over. Good old Lunar 23 on Ricardo. Maybe we'll do get rid of those two. And we will bevel both of those. That is the right scenario. Oh, another successful-ish art piece. All part of the structure. Alright. This looks a little bizarre, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a moment to throw this in Transpose Master, do a quick save, and I'm going to just adjust the angle of attack on that leg just to get it. I don't quite want it to be a bird leg. Well, maybe I do because that seems to be the concept for me, but sometimes you hit things a little too on the nose and they don't look awesome. There we go. Now that's the right position. I want that. I can make adjustments further up if needed. Like, for example, if I activate symmetry here, hide that. Plus a little more natural flowing waves. Cool. I lost the path somewhere along the way, but hey. Cross our fingers everything comes out of the transpose okay. Hello, Profiteer on Picardo. That. Oh. Hello. How's it going? Oh yeah, you want to pick up Richard then? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll text him because I told him I was not going to be able to because you were working till 4, but that's fine, yeah. Believe. Alright, I love you. Bye. Well, the wife's on the way. I will be streaming less in a minute. Alright, back to this masterpiece of it, or something. Only if I had a masterpiece of music like I did with Masterpiece of Blade. Still, I gotta say, looks a little bit better than when I started. That's for sure. Oh, there we go. I still have those. I was thinking, man, those pants just gone. That is starting to look really freaking awesome. Really important. Transpose Master is great when you're plugging along and you've got a kind of concept shape and things are looking good and you notice something is proportionally off, or maybe the shape that you thought was going to be really awesome is not quite as awesome. You can go in there, adjust all your subtools at the same time, get a really good look at the silhouette, kind of adjust some of the proportions as required, and really kind of get the scenario that you want. Not to jump that angle, yes, but plugging along, we're getting somewhere. Alright. This guy here has a couple of groups on it, and I'm going to try by default just to zero mesh it like this and see how it goes. But I may end up taking the core out of this. We'll see. Yeah, that ended up bad. Delete hidden, and I need the bottom of the ankle on this because this is kind of complex shape. I try grouping it in this rough stage first. Not something I normally do, but if you want to keep shape a little more accurate when you're using this tool, it's a good idea. I want to do a couple things. I'm going to smooth this so it brings all our groups sorted together like this. I'm going to go to polygroups, and they've got this thing called merge stray groups. Anything that didn't quite get masked is now going to be not causing us as big of a deal problem. I'm going to try zero meshing this again, and you can see I got a pretty okay result, just like that. We'll do it again. Every time we do that, it's going to be a little bit better. Well, in an ideal world, that wasn't. Alright, I'm going to try making groups to get what I want here. See how that goes. Also correct groups that I wasn't able to correct as accurate before. Oh, there we go. That's much better than that. That's fixable. See, this is best case. I kept the form pretty accurately. One of the nice things about doing this too is if you ever find that you need a very specific form back, after you created your very accurate geometry, or rather before, you can duplicate your tool, keep the original shape. And then when you got something like this, you can project that detail back and add subdivision levels and get it very accurate. but it allows you to kind of edit and create a very specific, very fast geometry. Very happy with this. Gotta know how to manipulate the program. That's our very temporary tool. Follows the lines of the other tools, although I haven't delineated the bevel part of it. I guess I could, just for show, eh? Probably wind up having to take that off later. Make our foot here have a similar awesomeness about it. We're going to use our mask pen. And I'm going to turn the Z intensity all the way up. It wouldn't matter, but it matters. Very fast and loose groups here. Better on the overlap. I didn't do so. There's right. Masking, merge straight groups. Bang. That's probably good. Looks awful. Awful, doesn't it? I'll be able to do a little bit better. Get right to that edge. Polish that. Alright, let's see what terrible things are going to happen when we mesh this. Oh, that was bad. I should have left the original shape and kind of went for it. Hidden group. Too bad. All right, let's try. Pardon this evil thing here, which we can deal with. That almost went good. And you know, the bottom, of course, which is fine. I got maybe a solution for that, though. Let's see. I am going to polygroup like so, and like so. Oh, that's interesting. Realize that we're gonna polygroup this. Bad, that's bad, I don't. That didn't adapt that delete that. Just like so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bridge this, the temporary thing. Because I want ZBrush to close this hole. Close convex hole. Circle, big line, try that. Well, I guess we could probably manually reach this. Yeah, alright, fuck it, we'll bridge it. that worked out really easily, oddly enough. Now we are going to do some weird polygrouping. Maybe some extreme. I lost line that I wanted to try. That. Not this fishing, you already did that. I'm at that point of doing hard surface stuff at the moment where my brain is just not contributing any longer to the problem solving process. Like, you know what? I've been working pretty hard. You figure it out. Good luck. Oh yeah. Okay, let's stop being productive. I think I'm gonna take a break, guys. I may be back on later tonight. I'm scheduled to be on for 7, but you have some plans. I'll try to tweet out on Twitter there. Am I gonna be back on time or not? I will throw this up on YouTube though. Like I say, go ahead, watch it. Maybe one of these years I'll get ambitious and I'll start editing these down for useful content. But for now, we'll just save it for prosperity. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good one.